Thank you so much for tuning into the 6th installment of the Chris Top Halloween Productions. If you like my telling of Bloody Mary, please go back and check out the others. Portions of the day's programming are reproduced by means of electrical transcriptions or tape recordings.
You can either talk in the Chris Top program.
I am the one and only Chris Top.
You can either talk in the Chris Top program.
Broadcasting live from my lavish studio apartment.
The VCR and the DVD, there was a night of black pride back in 1970. We didn't know about the World War Web was a whole different game being played back when I was a kid. Wanna get down in a cool way, picture yourself on a beautiful day. Big bell bottoms and cool long hair, just walking in style with a portable MP3 play. You can listen to the music on the Chris Top program. Chris Top program. You can hear the music on the Chris Top program. Chris Top program.
One and only Chris Top.
Wanna hear the music on the Chris Top program. Yeah. You can get the top in the Chris Top program.
Sunny Clarksville, Tennessee.
You can hear the top in the Chris Top program.
This is the Chris Top Program. She lived deep in the forest in a tiny cottage and sold herbal remedies for a living. Folks living in the town nearby called her Bloody Mary and said she was a witch. None dared cross the old crone for fear that their cows would go dry, their food stores rot away before winter, their children take sick of fever, or any number of terrible things that an angry witch could do to her neighbors. Then the little girls in the village began to disappear, one by one. No one could find out where they had gone. Grief-stricken families searched the woods, the local buildings, and all the houses and barns, but there was no sign of the missing girls. A few brave souls even went to Bloody Mary's home in the woods to see if the witch had taken the girls, but she denied any knowledge of the disappearance. Still, it was noted that her haggard appearance had changed. She looked younger, more attractive. The neighbors were suspicious, but they could not find proof that the witch had taken their young ones. Then came the night when the daughter of the miller rose from her bed and walked outside, following an enchanted sound no one else could hear. The miller's wife had a toothache and was sitting up in the kitchen treating the tooth with an herbal remedy when her daughter left the house. She screamed for her husband and followed the girl out the door. The miller came running in his nightshirt. Together they tried to restrain the girl, but she kept breaking away from them and heading out of town. The desperate cries of the miller and his wife woke the neighbors. They came to assist the frantic couple. Suddenly, a sharp-eyed farmer gave a shout and pointed toward a strange light at the edge of the woods. A few townsmen followed him out into the field and saw Bloody Mary standing beside a large oak tree, holding a magic wand that was pointed toward the miller's house. She was glowing with an unearthly light as she set her evil spell upon the miller's daughter. The townsmen grabbed their guns and their pitchforks and ran toward the witch. When she heard the commotion, Bloody Mary broke off her spell and fled back into the woods. The far-sighted farmer had loaded his gun with silver bullets in case the witch ever came back after his daughter. Now he took aim and shot at her. The bullet hit Bloody Mary in the hip and she fell to the ground. The angry townspeople leapt upon her and carried her back into the field, where they built a huge bonfire and burned her at the stake. As she burned, Bloody Mary screamed a curse at the villagers. If anyone mentioned her name aloud before a mirror, she would send her spirit to revenge herself upon them for her terrible death. When she was dead, the villagers went to the house in the wood and found the unmarked graves of the little girls the evil witch had murdered. She had used their blood to make her young again. From that day to this, anyone foolish enough to chant Bloody Mary's name 3 times before a darkened mirror will summon the vengeful spirit of the witch. It is said that she will tear the bodies to pieces and rip their souls from their mutilated bodies. The souls of these unfortunate ones will burn in torment as Bloody Mary once burned herself, and they will be trapped forever in the mirror.
Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary. been a Chris Top production.
You can either talk in the Chris Top program.
Mr. Pop.
Take it from the top.
Hi, I'm Chris Top of the Chris Top program. Nominations are open for the 8th Annual Podcast Awards on podcastawards.com. All right, hurry up. You've only got till October the 18th to nominate the Chris Top program in the categories of Best Produced and in Entertainment. It really would be a great honor to win, not to mention a good excuse to go to Vegas in January. Not that that's what it's all about. The Chris Top program, Best Produced and Entertainment, podcastawards.com.
You can either talk in the Chris Top program.
Mr. Pop.
Take it from the top. Take it from the top.
Is it over yet?
Completely over.
You have been exposed to the Chris Top program.
Yeah, okay, are we done? I really gotta get a life.